Hey guys, how's it going? It's Titan from Hell here, coming to you with my second motovlog. And today, as promised, I'll be reviewing my bike, my 2004 Honda CB250. So let's get into it right away. Before I get into this review, I just want to say one thing. I've now adjusted my render settings for YouTube, so you guys should be able to see this video in a much better quality than what my other video was before. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to say is that this isn't a very easy bike to ride. So that makes it very friendly for a learner. I'll talk about the power delivery and torque. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is also a very upright position, so it's a very comfortable position for a bike. I'm going to talk about the power delivery. So there's not much power down low, but once you start giving it a bit of power, that's when the torque really does start to set in, as you can see right here. And this is a 5-speed gearbox. It's not like a 6-speed. So this is, in my opinion, I think this is a very slow bike when you compare it to something like a Ninja 250 or a Ninja 300, which is a bit of a shame. I'll talk about the braking. So I'll do a quick brake test here. As you can see, the brakes are pretty decent. This is also a non-ABS bike, which will catch out a lot of learners. There is obviously a big debate between ABS and non-ABS. You don't want to lock up the front wheel on this bike. I have actually locked up the front wheel before, and it's terrifying as fuck. So it's something that I don't want to see happen to anyone. So if you're a learner out there watching this, please get ABS. It's probably the most safest option for you, because when you have ABS on, nothing happens. The front wheel does not lock up, and it's an overall safe experience for you. The suspension is pretty light, and it works pretty well. For stock suspension, it's actually pretty good. As you can see, like the shocks are very absorptive. They're not Nolan shocks, but they're pretty good shocks, and I personally like them. So that's a pretty damn good bonus. This bike also does feel very planted as well, which is not a big bonus. I personally like planted bikes. I don't really like bikes that are, unstable and all that stuff. But yeah, it feels very planted, and the overall feel of this bike is actually not really very smooth. When you start getting into the higher range power, you get quite a shitload of vibration. It's really bad. And yeah, it isn't really good for me, because I really do like smooth bikes. I like not being able to feel the vibration, so that is definitely a negative. But I'm cruising at about 60 in 4th gear, so when you try and get up to speed on this bike, you really do have to work the gears. That's another thing. Because this is only a 250 and this isn't made to be like a sport bike, you have to pretty much be in 5th gear to cruise at 80. And if you really want to get to the top speed of this thing, you really have to redline this bike. I'm sorry I have to say that, but that's the only way to get the full speed of this bike. So this is no leader bike, this is no Ninja 300 or Ninja 250 or a 600. This is only a Honda CB250. But the positives I can say about this bike is that it's a very easy bike to ride. It's very commuter friendly, and it's also learner friendly, with the exception of the bike being non-ABS. And I would definitely recommend ABS to any person that's going to begin on the bike, because if you have non-ABS, you will get yourself in trouble very easily with the brakes. You'll end up locking up the front wheel, and it's something I don't want to see happen to anyone. But the steering and maneuverability of this bike is pretty good. It's very light and it's very nimble, as you can see right here. It's pretty good. And coming into a roundabout, I'll show you how quick it turns in. So it's very planted, and it's overall, it's pretty good. I certainly like this. And another thing is that it does feel fun. I've ridden this for 8 months and I have not gotten bored of it. I don't know why, but that's just my personal opinion. You may get bored of this bike after running it for a while. Holy shit. That guy chose the wrong sort of judgment, but whatever. But in my opinion, I don't think you'll get bored of this bike. Even though it has a lot less power. So to sum this up, I'm going to talk about 3 things. 1, can I recommend this to a learner? Absolutely. You'll no doubt have a good time on this bike. The only thing that will catch you out is definitely the ABS. So if you can, look for a bike that has ABS, because trust me, you don't want non-ABS on this bike. It's very terrifying. 2, can you commute on it? Absolutely. It's very light, it's very nimble, and it is very filter friendly. Obviously I can't filter because of my restrictions, but I feel this bike has enough space in between the gaps to be able to filter. And 3, is the power of this bike enough to get you across the road? Even though it's very low in the low range power, as you start to climb in the higher ranges, it will eventually get better. So if you're cruising at about 110, it's still fine. So it will be able to get you anywhere where you want to go. However, you do have to work the gears on this thing. In fact, I reckon that when you're coming to 80, you will have to be in 5th gear. It doesn't really have much power, but it's enough power to get you where you want to go. And just so you know, guys, this is just my personal review of the bike. This is my personal opinion, so you can feel free to disagree with me in the comments if you have ridden this bike before. If you have any other queries, just let me know in the comments and we can have a discussion or something. Until then, I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks for watching, guys. Please be sure to subscribe, and also like me on Facebook, like me on Instagram, and follow me on Twitter, because I post updates on Facebook and Instagram and tweet out occasionally. So yeah, until then, peace out, guys.